Welcome to Beyond the Diet. This is your space to transform your relationship with weight, food, and the changes that come with each stage of your life, so you move through womanhood embodying your feminine strength and radiance. Led by me, Audrey.
And me, Christina. We are your weight, wellness, and women's health guides and coaches. This channel gives you practical tips, holistic practices, and transformational insights to help you release that stubborn weight naturally and easily,
Improve your digestion and metabolism.
balance your hormones,
Implement holistic practices for stress relief, energy, women's health, and balance.
and we ultimately help you step into your power as the vibrant, unstoppable woman you were always meant to be.
Join us to learn about listening to your body, eating with awareness, and living in a way that supports your unique stage of womanhood.
Every week you'll find empowering videos on weight loss, women's health, yoga, Ayurveda, and the lifestyle shifts that are designed to help you feel at home in your body again.
This is your invitation to step into womanhood differently. This is Yoga to Transform.
So we're here today to talk about this concept called Agni, right?
Yeah. It's a Sanskrit word, is it?
It is a Sanskrit word, and
Right.
basically what it means is your digestive fire, right? Your ability to transform, absorb, and assimilate not only the foods that you eat, but the life that you live. And the key kind of focus or consideration that you need to be understanding is that good digestion equals good assimilation and absorption, which equals good elimination, right?
Let me pop this over here.
So those three things, right, are all kind of add up, and we work on the digestive fire in the first instance to build our ability to assimilate life. So Agni literally means fire.
Woo!
Woo! Fire. That's why we started today's talk with "This girl is on fire." And it is what transforms and assimilates what it is that we're taking in, whether it's food, life experiences, or the thoughts that we have. So one of the things that when it comes to Agni and good Agni is that eating is a spiritual experience, right? So there's this sacred activity that when we step in and allow it to be that, a sacred activity, we allow the food to assimilate and join well with us, all right? But I'm probably as guilty as any other woman of not making eating a sacred activity.
No,
right?
kind of squeeze it in, don't we?
Yeah. I eat when I'm standing up, and there's a saying that he who eats when she's standing up has death standing over his shoulder. Like it's not that good to be eating when you stand up. But when we eat without a sense of the sacred, it causes our digestive issues. So you've got to remember, when we're looking at life with an Ayurveda and a yoga lens, we're not only looking at that kind of really masculine rules and rituals and what you should be doing, but we're looking at it through this feminine and this sacredness, right? And bringing that back into the conversation. So the Rig Veda is one of the most ancient texts that was ever written down in terms of a spiritual text. And the first word in the Rig Veda after the word Om is Agni. And it's a prayer to the fire god. And it's generally translated as I adore Agni, right? The priest, the divine master of the sacrifice, the invoker and the bestower of all treasures. And in that verse, Agni is invoked to serve as the mediator between humans and gods, but he's the one that brings health and wealth and prosperity. So what we're basically saying is, if you look after Agni, if you look after your digestive fire, you will be blessed with perfect health.
Woo! Sounds good, doesn't
I
it?
know, doesn't it? And when Agni becomes slow, your health will start to deteriorate, because Agni not only digests, but it also brings maturation to your tissues. It helps your muscle tone. And with good digestive fire, with good Agni, you can live a long and healthy life, and you can have this beautiful fragrance to your life. So when we talk about bringing the sacred back, what we're talking about is that if you think about this fire, this concept of fire, if you walk into any religious ceremony, any kind of worshipping ceremony, there will always be a flame present, right? The flame is the starting point of our experience as a culture, the growth of our culture. So when humans discovered fire, and we started cooking food, it was the beginning of our culture as a humanity. So there's this powerful, like, well, it started something big and it's part of our sacredness, but you also have to remember that fire can burn, right?
Yeah. So perhaps you don't want too much of it.
Yeah, potentially not too much of it, because we can have too much of a digestive fire and eat away at our own selves. But also too, it's that fire can burn and we get forged in the fire too. So the fire is so important. So it's the force of our metabolic change, our spiritual and physical transformation, and it's the force of our own becoming. And if you notice or you reflect on your life, like your life has an uncanny way of burning you, right? Of setting you alight and teaching us a lesson through that fire, right? So we do get forged in the fire. And when we're meditating, we're inviting our soul's fire to the surface and confronting the dross that needs to be burned through. So if you don't burn at it or look at it, it's going to come up in your life. So the fire, not only is it about your physical absorption and assimilation and elimination of food, it's your inner teacher. It's your longing. It gives you life, and it also burns. And we become forged in the fire. So the concept of Agni, this concept of your digestive fire, is not limited to what you're putting in your mouth or what you're eating through your mouth. It's about the whole of your life. It's about what you're assimilating through all of your five senses. Sound, hearing. So hearing, sight, smell, touch. Well, Audrey wants to jump in with.
Oh, yeah, no. Because I was thinking there's actually more senses in that too, because it's kind of your proprioceptive sense of where you are in space and how your body's moving and things like that.
Exactly.
So it's right inside you, isn't it?
It's everything that you take in through your holes is the fire. is like needs to be absorbed by you, needs to be assimilated by you. So it's really important, this concept of digestive fire, but it's also then about once this metabolic fire is strong, then the fire for your whole life starts to burn, and whatever it is that you're hungry for, you can start going for.
So there's a few signs that you can notice in your own life. It might be one of the reasons that you've joined us as well into this program, is that there's some ways that you can see whether your fire has been slightly dampened, so I might have a wet blanket or a wet towel on top of it, so you're not actually firing on all cylinders. So if you happen to have a pen and a piece of paper, I'm just going to go through a whole bunch. It's probably about 15 or 18 different things that might be dampening your fire. So you can either
signs,
or signs, signs you might have dampened metabolic fire. So you might just like to give yourself a tick or a cross if you notice them, that these are things that are happening in your life. So a symptom might be that you've got unexplained weight gain. Who's up for that? Give yourself a point. What about belly bloat, burping or gas? That's two things. Belly bloat, burping, gas. Then, of course, you've got that heartburn. It's telling us about the fire, isn't it? You might have an itchy rectum. Oh, okay. So it's
not worms. It's your low metabolism.
Low metabolism. That's right. Don't take a worm pill. So, and then it might be the consistency of your stools. What are you passing? Do you have loose stools, or do you have constipation? And then sometimes you might feel that when you go poo, it's not all complete, that you might have a bit more. So you kind of have to go twice or three times to get rid of it all. So another symptom. So sometimes it's about how full you feel. You might feel super full after just an ordinary sized meal. don't know where we're up to with that, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was about 8. Number 9 is nausea. How do you feel? You know, are you having symptoms of nausea? And then acne and dry skin. So do you have one side or the other on your skin? What about your nails? Cracked nails.
Gosh, my computers. Look at that. Strong nails or brittle nails? Yeah.
Gardener's nails.
Yeah.
Then we do get to parasites. You know, do you have any problem with that? And then obviously, because we're taking in a lot of food through our mouth, obviously, you know, you might end up with bad breath or possibly a coating on your tongue, especially noticeable in the mornings. Maybe you have allergies. Maybe another symptom could be candida. And here's a big one for women at any age probably is, but do you have PMS? And then 3 to finish off with about 2 more about the skin. So eczema, hives, or other rashes. And psoriasis, you know, when you're getting that itchiness on your hands, dryness of your hands. And then the last one on my list is unexplained brain fog, maybe a bad mood, or you just don't have any energy. So give yourselves a bit of a score, tot it up.
Yeah.
How would you go there, Christina?
And maybe put it in the in the chat. Yeah, and let us know how you're going. So for me, I'd probably actually so my digestion's always been a problem, like my digestive fire.
Okay.
I've got what we would call, it's a pretty good number. So 6, I think it's a 6. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I've always had irregular digestive, and we're going to talk about irregular versus regular versus slow and versus sharp soon. But so it kind of goes all over the place.
Okay.
Yeah.
So and I'm probably still, I do have that coating on the tongue. I don't have too much. I am a bit dry, but I've been doing a really good Ayurveda thing to help that out with my skin. But I don't really have too much problem with going to the toilet. That seems to be okay. And yeah, I don't have too much brain fog, or I'm hardly even in a bad mood.
Lucky.
So maybe a 3 for me.
Whereas I think at the moment, probably I'd be quite, if there's 18 on there, I'd probably be well over half at the moment. And that's a reflection of my tendency towards having a troublesome digestive tract anyway. But B, then what I'm coming to realize is that the stress that I hold in my life, like I'm actually never going to heal it unless I start reducing my stress levels. So interesting in terms of when we start to look at what digestion really means. It's actually, for me, probably not a lot about the food I'm eating, because I eat a lot of really good food and I take a lot of really good supplements, but I'm not looking after the other aspects as well as I could.
Yeah. And that's a life stage and age too, isn't it? You know,
it is a life
teenage
stage.
kids.
I know, teenage kids. They're in a single mum. Like, that's stressful, right? but there's that saying, which is like, it doesn't, if your digestion's not working well, it doesn't matter how many pills or potions or good foods you eat. If that's not working well, it's not gonna solve your problems. So that's the digestive fire. So there you go. We know where we're starting. This is okay. So on a scale of 18, you're about 30%, Diana. You're about 10%, and I'm probably about 50 to 60% right now. So you need to know where you need to start, right? So this concept of digestion in Ayurveda, it understands that things need to be cooked, right, before we can digest them, which is another way of just saying it needs to be processed in some way. And I know there's a whole lot of like, oh, don't eat processed food, but heck, when we cook the food, we're processing it when we're at home. Yeah. So we've got, if you imagine cooking in your stovetop, and I promise you, one of the best things that you can start doing if you're not doing it right now is increase the amount of times you're cooking homemade food at home in your own oven, in your own kitchen. So the fireplace or the stove is your small intestine, right? So the small intestine is the place where things go into the fire. They start to get burnt down and broken down. And the pot that holds the food is your stomach, right? So it goes into your stomach, and that's the cooking pot. And the fuel or the power or that fuels the whole process of digestion and assimilation and absorption and elimination is actually yesterday's food.
And I thought that was really interesting when I learned that, because
Yeah.
who knew that you needed to think about what you ate yesterday to help today?
Yeah, exactly. So what you did yesterday fuels the discharge of those digestive enzymes, and they kindle the Agni, right? So you're remembering that the food that you take in is kindling all of the metabolic processes across your whole body. And literally, that apple that you ate at lunchtime, if you happen to eat an apple, I ate a pear, right?
I do have an apple.
Oh, you've got an apple?
Yeah,
like turns into you, right? You are literally are what you eat. This cooking process, and the chef, right? We'll come back. The chef is the prana which governs all of the processes of cooking. But this cooking process is this process of taking the life force energy out of the food that you're consuming, out of the stuff that you're consuming, bigger than food, the TV programs that you watch, the people you hang out with, all of that stuff, what you're watching on the computer. Your body digests all of that, and it turns it into your vital life force, right? And it uses it to help fuel you as you move forward, and gives you the energy that you need to release into your system. And so it also creates who you are. So everything you take in, the food, the books, the movies, the humans, the smells, the sights, whatever it might be, all of that, your body digests and assimilates and absorbs and turns into who you are. It's so important. So our food, when you eat the food, if we just stay on that concept, when we take this apple and it's going to become Diana or Lizanne or Charlene or Kathy, like this apple, when you bite into it, your body goes, woo, it takes all the constitutions of this apple and breaks it down and makes it into whatever your body needs. So if you need nice nails or nice hair or enzymes to digest today's food, it'll take the apple and it'll make it into whatever your body needs. It literally turns the apple into you, right? So, but it only can take the life force energy and turn it into you and eliminate what it doesn't need or what's not going to be good for you through this process of digestion. So, certain foods can be eaten raw, right? But cooking is so important. And the foods that can be eaten raw are the foods that have their life force readily available so that you take it in and your body doesn't have to do too much work to process it. And there's not that many.
No.
It's basically lettuce, parsley, and sprouts. And we all know that parsley and sprouts and lettuce are like superfoods, right? We're like, woo, yeah. So those,
and they wouldn't be that good cooked anyway.
No, they wouldn't, right? No, they're not.
No.
But so like I quite often have parsley just sitting in my kitchen and I'll just eat it like, woo, and sprouts are the same. But they are the superfoods that you can eat and your body will be able to easily take the life force out of them because they have their energy, their life force ready available for you. But most of the foods need to be cooked, right? Because the life force energy is actually latent in the food, and for it to become available for the human body, we need to cook the food because the cooking of the food starts the process of digestion for us, right? So there's an external digestive process that needs to happen so that we can get that life force energy out of it. So, and then, then it comes into the mouth, we have to chew it, all of that stuff we'll talk about soon. So without Agni, it would be impossible for you to digest any food or any of your sensory experience, right? So if you feel easily overwhelmed or you feel bloated or whatever, it's probably because the fire needs some stoking.
Alrighty. So I'm back to the lists again. I've got another list for you. So back to the pen, and here we go. So these are some things that tell us that the Agni in our system is acting normally, so the normal functions of Agni. And again, it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, probably about 15 or 18 again. So here we go. So the normal functions of Agni: digestion, absorption, and assimilation of food and sensory experiences, gives you nutrition and knowledge and understanding, and none of the symptoms that you had before. So that's the first thing. Do you have any of the symptoms above that we did the first time round? And it's responsible for your visual perception. So how's your vision? What about, do you get cold or hot? Your normal temperature, are you able to maintain that? Here's one. Looking at me, I'm looking a bit red today, but it might just be the hot lights, I'm not sure. But maintains your constitution and color complexion. So do you find that you blush easily, or you look pale and wan? So a Vasa person tends to have brown complexion. I can't say that.
Complexion.
Pitta red, so a little bit more fiery here, and Kapha tends to be pale and white. I'd say you're looking pretty brown there, Christina.
Woo, that's an unusual colour for me.
So take a look and think about yourself. All right, and if Agni's working well, you also have confidence, courage, and fearlessness. How do you feel about doing new things and getting out and about and doing some stuff that might be a bit challenging for you? It also creates joy, cheerfulness, laughter, and contentment. We're always looking for things that are simple, easy, and fun.
Yeah.
We like to have a bit of laugh.
Yeah.
We're looking at how clear we can think, how clearly we can think. So mental clarity and being able to see in the whole of what you're thinking about. So not just focusing on this point or that point, but you can see a problem in its whole, or what else? So say if you have to take a drive somewhere, you're not just focused on the first corner that you have to turn, but you can see the map of how you have to get there. So you've got the wholeness of what you're thinking about. And of course, it also creates affection, interest, enthusiasm, and those things that make us us. On a bit more of a physical thing, what about your tissue? Do you find that you scratch easily, or you heal up? I guess it's even got there it is. On Sunday, I sliced my finger open, so I can hardly see it now.
Yeah.
So my skin's doing okay. How's yours? Production of immunity. So you're getting coughs and colds, or are you feeling like you're keeping well? Good cellular and metabolic activity. Be hard to, how would we judge that?
Well, I guess if your cells and your metabolism are working well, so life would be functioning, so you'd be pooing and peeing and sweat, doing all of those respiring, all of that
breath
stuff
would be going well. You wouldn't be having
movement, freedom of movement.
Your heart would be beating well and things. So here we get onto that with production and utilization of prana. So we use that as an expression before. So some people think about pranayama when you do yoga. So that's the breathing practice, but really prana is anything that we feed ourselves and fire our bodies with. So we're thinking a bit more into the brain, how you're feeling about logical thinking. How well can you make an argument? Can you reason? We're not always talking about with our partners sometimes or children, sometimes that's hard, but also discriminating what's important and what's not. That's an important thing to be thinking about. So also your brain function. It's just so important to keep that intelligence flowing, those neurons firing. And now a bit more into the emotional thing. What about your patience, stability, and confidence? Some of us, again, back to, I'm thinking of teenagers and partners. We're not always terribly patient, but we try. And then we're thinking about staying alive, really. So the span of your life, feel confident that, you can live till your 90s or probably 100. I don't know. And then what about how you're feeling in terms of a glow and a luster? So that's sort of skin, eyes, teeth, nails.
Yeah.
Just
And you see the people who've got a, like, I don't know, well, maybe not everyone can, but I see the people who've got a glow about them, and then you can see a grayness about other people. And I don't know if you can see that, but yeah, there's there's a luster.
yeah, and along with that is the last thing is about your strength and vitality. So there's heaps in there. So I hope you're able to tick off a few in there.
And again, remembering that, so you've got the first list, which is, well, here are some signs that your Agni may not be very strong. And then this is the list, which is, here are some signs that your Agni is strong. And, you know, if you're ticking not that many on the first list and lots in this list, then you've probably got some pretty good digestive fire. But if you're not ticking much here and lots there, then you probably haven't. And the first thing that you need to really focus on before anything else is, how do we get you ticking more on this list and less on the first list?
Yeah, that's right. And then I think that's where you're going to go to about how variable it is, because you know, some people might have a lot on both lists.
Yes.
So that although they're
no, I actually don't. Yeah, I've got some good ones on this list, but yeah.
Yeah, or equal numbers, sort of like whatever it is. So there's no you're unique, and that's one of the best things about working together, is that, you know, we really appreciate the fact that that's something that makes you and us, each of us, different as well. And so let's find out about what kind of Agni we're going to have in our systems, because we'll be slightly different, won't we?
Absolutely. So there are 4 types. Sorry, this computer. There's 4 types of Agni, or digestive fire, and these relate to the 3 doshas. Now, the doshas are basically your constitution, or your body type, or this natural tendency that you have for being in the world. And we're all a combination. So it's not like I'm a pure pitta and Audrey's a pure kapha or anything like that. We've got, like, we were talking about this today, like, we've got all of it. We've got all of it, and so do you. But there's a tendency more towards one than the other, or 2 than the other. And fewer people have the tridosha, which is you've got all 3 in equal parts. But most of us, I'm about 50-50 vata pitta. Oh dear. And basically, note when we go through this, just make a note of the one that you think your digestive fire is right now. And remembering that our focus, when we're looking from an Ayurvedic perspective, is more on the symptoms you experience after eating. All right. So not in, like, during daily life or whatever, but good digestion is when there's no symptoms. You're symptom free after eating. So we start with a balanced metabolism, right? So this is where you want to end up, okay? You could eat almost anything, yeah? Anything in any season without any adverse side effects or symptoms. You could just be like, okay, it's freezing cold outside and I'm going to eat ice cream even though I'm a kapha, because it doesn't matter. So kaphas shouldn't be eating ice cream, full stop, even though they love it. Yeah. But definitely not in winter time when it's freezing cold outside, right?
But if you've got a balanced metabolism,
go for it. Woohoo! Everyone's like, yes. So your digestion, your absorption, and your elimination are normal, right? And the way you can tell your digestion is normal is there's no symptoms, there's no bloating, there's no gas, there's no nausea. Your elimination is normal, is that it's what do we call them? Smiling bananas. Right? That's when you know that your
poos are good.
Your poos are good. Smiling bananas.
I always think about smiling this way.
Yeah. Without any food particles, you know, so like without anything in them, it's just like everything's been absorbed and assimilated, right? So this is the state of perfect health. So neither food nor your environment upsets a person with a balanced metabolism. Let me repeat that. Neither food nor your environment, nor the situation that you're in right now, the work that's shitty, or the boyfriend that's being a pain in the ass, or the children that's annoying you,
or the car breaks down.
Nothing of that upsets you, all right? So you have a calm and quiet, loving mind and great clarity of awareness and bliss. And good health, longevity, immunity, luster, life force are all virtues of someone with balanced Agni, right? You have what we call a hunger that matches your activity level. So you would, if you have a quiet day, you won't eat as much. If you climb a mountain, you'll eat more, right? And your hunger kind of goes with your activity. So that's the first one, balanced. This is what we all are aiming for. Once we get to balanced Agni, we don't have to really do anything else. We're done. So then we have irregular metabolism. Now, I referred to this before. This is probably my own, where I'm out of balance right now and have been all of my life. So Vata. Vata is fast and it's mobile and it's forceful and it's the moving and it's air. So it causes the gassing and the bloating and all of that stuff. So Vata is behind someone with an irregular metabolism. So if you have a tendency towards Vata, you'll probably have tendencies towards this metabolism. So it's erratic. It produces an irregular appetite and variable digestion. Stomach bloating, like my stomach, you know.
Just bringing your hands out here, you can't really see.
you know, the people with the food babies. Indigestion, gases, constipation, colicky pain. I was a colicky baby. And even a small amount of food can cause gas. And then it can also lead to diarrhea, feeling heavy after eating. Have you heard the gurgling after in your intestines? Remember, like last night I was lying down listening to my stomach gurgling away. You
should get a life.
I should do more.
Yeah, get out more.
So when we have this irregular metabolism, some of the signs on top of those digestive disorders may be the dry skin, crackling joints, sciatica, low backache, or insomnia. And emotionally, we can have anxiety, insecurity, fear, or other neurological or mental problems. So what happens with the irregularity is that the Vata tends to be cold. So the quality of cold slows down the fire and the quality and the quality of mobility will make it.
Oh, yes, please. Yeah.
Yay, the Chewbacca passion today. Yay. It's so good for your ojas, but your
in the morning, that'll be better.
Yeah, nice. So after that, we have something called a sharp metabolism, right? So this is your sharp metabolism, and Pitta is behind this one. So if you've got a tendency towards Pitta, that's a fiery personality, a driven and ambitious. These people are intense and they're charismatic, but they're intense. This person has the desire to frequently eat large quantities of food. And Audrey will tell you that I often am like, I'm afraid that I'll get hungry. So
you keep eating. I better have a bit more.
I better just keep, because I'm afraid that I won't have enough food. Hi there. So I eat large quantities of food, but after digestion, I get a dry throat, lips and palate, heartburn, hot flashes, or indigestion, acid indigestion. So it can cause hyperacidity, so you get very acidic, diarrhea, dysentery, pain in your liver, nausea, vomiting, inflammatory conditions. So it can lead to anger, hate, envy. You can become judgmental or critical of others and everyone. And you might have intense cravings for sweets. So I have a tendency to like my sweets. So that's your sharp metabolism. And then the dull metabolism is the kapha. So that's the slower person. And a person with a dull metabolism, with a tendency towards kapha, could fast on water for 5 days and still gain weight. That is the dull metabolism. So this kind of person, they struggle to even digest just a normal diet easily or properly. So they can show edema, obesity, hypertension, lethargy, diabetes, excessive sleep, clammy skin, weakness of the body. And there can be attachment, greed, and possessiveness in their mind. So that these people, like, these are the people that, like, they don't eat a lot, but they still gain weight. Yeah.
So I suppose the thing we want to do is we all want to have a good digestion.
We do.
And from today's talk, we know that to do that, we have to stoke the fire, stoke the Agni.
Yeah.
And so as well as that, we have to lessen the things that we're doing that kind of dampen the fire. So I'm on the lists. I really am. I'm on the list today. So sorry about that, team. But here's another big long list of some of the things that you can do to boost your fire, boost your digestive fire, your Agni, and to lessen the toxicity. So you might have heard of this before, but you kind of eat lightly at night and stop eating, say, 2 or 3 hours before you go to bed, at least 2 or 3 hours. And sometimes you might have heard, I think my grandma used to do this, was to have a milky drink before she went to sleep. But that's certainly something that Ayurveda would say. But also herbal teas and maybe adding something spicy and milky. So maybe, I don't know, there's probably some, I don't know what kind of spicy things. You could probably add cardamom or cinnamon, couldn't you? Just to the milk.
Turmeric, cardamom, cinnamon.
Yeah. And that's to help your digestion go well, and also to help you detox some of the things that you might have absorbed during the day that aren't so good. Now, some of you will already be doing some of this, and I am. Are you still doing ginger bites?
No, I never did the
you never did.
No.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So I'm still doing ginger bites. So ginger, freshly slice it. Peel it if you like, because it's quite the outside's quite tough, but squirt a bit of lemon or lime on it and add a little bit of salt, and eat a few slices before you have a meal, maybe up to 15 minutes beforehand, but sometimes it's just I'll eat that just before I eat my meal, so it's still going in. So what we're trying to do, of course, is trying to find that spice, that heat, get the digestive juices going, so that whatever you're having for your meal is already coming into a great environment of being able to be digested well. Now, we've maybe talked a little bit about this, but it's trying not to eat with too much liquid during your meal, because of course, what does water do? It puts out the fire. That's the way I think about it anyway. And so you're trying to think, well, if I'm eating food, I'm trying not to have a cold drink while I'm doing that, and that I'll have a drink afterwards or before. We only need about a half a cup typically, usually. So you can drink a little, half a cup, if you're having something drier like a snack or crackers or something like that. All right. And again, keep the water at a tepid temperature or even slightly warmer, because of course, if you're drinking an icy drink, it's going to cool yourself down and dampen that fire down. And we haven't really talked about this too much. We sort of mentioned a little bit, but the idea of enjoying your meal and actually having a lot of love for you, for the food, for the people that created the food for you, however it turned up at your house. Just take that moment of trying not to eat as you're standing up at the bench, trying not to just slap something together, but you've actually taken a few moments to prepare your meal. And then eat, helping yourself to feel nourished and give yourself that love of having that food in a loving and kind way, so that you're taking it in the best possible mood. So onto the heat things now.
Yeah.
And there are some great spices, and they might not be all to your taste, but you might come to like them a bit more. But some of the medicinal ones and the soup that are a bit of superstars, turmeric and ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, nutmeg, cumin, coriander, fennel. And if none of that sounds particularly great, just start with some black pepper. Many of us can have a little bit of a grind of black pepper no matter what we're eating, just to give us that little bit of digestive fire. So probably back to the preparing your meal with love and eating with love. We're thinking about nourishing ourselves. So it's almost like a meditation of thinking that as you take these foods in, you're nourishing yourself, you're able to find that nurturing that you can give yourself by eating food. And And in fact, Ayurveda suggests to us that it may even be more important about how you eat it than what you eat. So if you're just having to rush by and you end up with, I don't know, instant noodles, say. I'm trying to think of the worst thing that's in my cupboard, but instant noodles. But actually, if you sit down, if you prepare them and actually pop them in a bowl and you prepare them well, and you actually have that ability to take in those, just watching something on the screen, sorry, take in those molecules and asking them to integrate into your body and help serve your destiny. The food you eat is literally transformed into you, like we were talking about the apple. Try beginning your meals with a pause and take a few breaths to look at your food. We're talking about that prana, bringing it in through your eyes. And maybe even a prayer of thanks or a personal reflection just before you eat, just to give you that time to be ready to digest. Avoid TV and reading, the computer and other things. They create some toxic input into your body. And if you're trying to eat good food, you need to be fully aware of the food and be concentrating on that and leaving those other things to the side. Maybe you can gaze out the window. It's looking a bit cloudy at my house today. Yeah, a bit cloudy, but it's, I don't know, coming up to 6:30, and it's nice that it's still light. Yeah. Probably your grandma or your mum might have told you this. Try to chew your food to an even consistency, paying attention to the food. This will help improve your digestion. If the food's all well chewed up, there's not so much for your tummy to have to do, and it can get to the nutrients really quickly. Eat till you feel about 75% full. And both Christina and I had, I still haven't come across it in my eating, but I'm still learning too. But there's often a small burp that happens, which can indicate that you can stop eating now. And that's usually at that 75%.
With the burp as well, like there's the I don't remember but there's the eat till your first burp and you'll be a yogi.
Right? Oh yes, that's right.
Yeah. Eat till your second burp and you're a pleasure seeker. Yeah.
She had funny words like togi or something, didn't she?
It was a brogy.
Brogy.
Brogy. And then eat till your third burp and you are a pain seeker, or you're making yourself sick. So just, start that whole paying attention and that mindfulness around your eating, of the chewing and the noticing of everything. But then that noticing when you burp. Now, I'm obviously a pleasure seeker because I don't like to stop at my first burp, but yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alrighty. And so resting and digesting is such a great thing after your meal. So just take those 10 to 15, maybe even 20 minutes afterwards, just to sit and relax and let your tummy do what it needs to do. And that thing about having an empty tummy when you go to sleep, it is best to try and eat more in the middle of the day, have your main meal in the middle of the day when your digestion is actually strongest. And of course, try not to pile meal upon meal.
No, she looks at me.
We're all different. So these are recommendations, suggestions, take them as you will. But working towards developing some of these practices and habits in your life, in your digestion, will put you on the path to really having a much more, well, first of all, a much more pleasant and pleasurable experience with food. You'll begin to be eating things that actually nourish you well, so you'll feel it from the inside as well. And so it's, I find that, and it is variable at different days, different people, but there's some key things that keep your fire stoked. And that's where we're really, the whole point of this conversation with you today was about things that can help you keep your fire stoked, keep the metabolism going. And no matter whether you're what dose you are or whatever, all these things are good for all of us.
Absolutely. And I think that's the key point is starting here with your journey to really being anchored in perfect health for you and increasing your vitality and living your best life, you start with adding in the sacred to your eating and understanding where you are today and why you're there, right? So I've got irregular and sharp digestion issues because I don't practice like, I do now, but I haven't always practiced the sitting down or the pause or the don't get distracted by my computer or my phone. Like when I was working in the corporate world, you know what I did?
At your desk.
Ate at my desk and I kept working. Sometimes I was standing up, So there's that. How do you bring the sacred in to your experience with food? So we've got a question here, which is chanwara prash, which is a wonderful herb. It's honey, ghee, and a whole lot of spices all mixed in together that helps you build your immunity, right? And we've got a question. Do you ever use it in the morning in a hot drink? So it would be better for increasing the fire than having it on toast. And
yeah, I'm just writing back to say thanks for the question. And that really, we don't know what it feels like in your body to have it like that. I ended up having it. I just ate it off a spoon.
Same.
So I didn't mix it with water, and I did start by putting it on toast like a jam, but in the end I had it as one of my lunchtime treats. Really, it's such a nice thing. It tastes quite a lot like a jam. And so I just did what felt best for me. And that's what I invite you to do. Try it out and let us know next time how you've been going on, because it's a journey for you to discover what feels best for you. I'm so pleased you grabbed it though. That's nice.
Yeah. So definitely I was the same. Well, it depended. Like I would put it on my toast with my ghee, or I would also eat it by the spoonful. Now, I'm revealing the reasons why I have digestive issues, right? That eat it on the spoon, but if it feels good to put it in some hot water and mix it up and maybe add some lemon, then do that. Because it's about getting that yummy goodness. So the chanara, whatever it is, prash builds your immunity. It builds your vitality. It gives you more je ne sais quoi. It gives you a little bit more fire. So add it to your water, see how it goes.
And I don't know whether it was that or how it was, but I haven't had a cold or anything this year. So I'm pretty sure it's some of those things that I've been doing, including the chanwara prash.
Yeah, it is indeed. Are there any other questions around the stuff that we've covered today?
Luckily, it's recorded for you, because I'm sure there's so many things in there that you didn't quite get first time round. It's often hard, so you can always listen again and get a repeat whenever you want.
Yeah, but I think that the starting point is understanding that you cannot divorce your relationship to eating and how you eat from the outcome of your digestion and your elimination. And the outcome is your weight, and the outcome is health issues or
energy levels
or vitality or sleep. And you cannot divorce how you live your life from the way that you eat or the food that you eat either. It's your digestion is everything you take in, all 5 senses, well, 6 senses. Well, you could go 7 because your intuition, that's a thing too. Like everything that you're taking in through the course of your life, including the apples. Ooh, yeah.
So I just have a question. So raw apples?
Yeah.
Cooked apples?
Yeah. Well, they do say everything cooked is better, but I think we can eat the fruit raw.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you're thinking of breakfast or something, you could possibly cook it as well, stew it. Yeah,
stew the apples.
I should take my own advice and try it out, shouldn't I?
You should.
See what happens. Actually, I'm not a great apple eater, so maybe I need to have them cooked.
Yeah, I love stewed apples.
Yeah.
And it's about finding that what is going to make it easiest for you, because if all of a sudden you need to start cooking more food because it's not something you've done before, you have to do it in a realistic way for you. I use a slow cooker. I use a rice cooker. you know, there's a lot of things that I do to make my life easier. Lots of stir fries, all the vegetables. But when you're finished eating, one of the guidelines that we didn't have in there is when you're eating underneath, your serving size is two of your hands. So find a bowl, find a plate. Yeah.
Your hand's about the same size as mine.
Are they? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Not too much different.
Yeah. So
No wonder you can eat so much.
yeah, no wonder I can eat so much. See, like I've got the pitta, woo, pitta vada. So find that, start with the serving size. And because I have a faster metabolism, I make sure I have 4 meals a day with this size. And you find what works for you along the way.
Nice.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah. Namaste. Namaste.